There is no question distracted driving is extremely dangerous, whether you're on the phone, eating, putting on some makeup. But is there anything you can do to decrease your chances of getting in an accident with a distracted driver? Colorado's best attorney, Phil Harding from Harding & Associates, is here with the answer to this today. Before we get to that, though, I would like to run through your list of credentials because it's also extremely impressive, and we like to remind people why you're Colorado's best attorney. Number one, you're a super lawyer again this year. How many times has this been in a row now?
Four times.
That's awesome. Yeah. You are an expert who is sought out by many news agencies, including USA Today, on the Aurora theater shootings. Newsweek named you one of the top attorneys in Colorado, and you've been named as one of the top 100 trial lawyers in Colorado. This is why he's Colorado's best attorney. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, let's talk about distracted driving now, because, I mean, it affects us all.
Yeah.
Every day.
Everyone knows that it's, you know, just a horrible thing to do, but I want to go over some statistics. I want our viewers to know what they can do to lessen their odds when they're in a wreck by a distracted driver. But first, let's look over this data. And here's in 2013 some statistics. And essentially, and this is only for distracted driving, there were over 3,000 people killed in 2013 from distracted driving. Over 424,000 were injured. 10% of all fatal crashes in drivers under 21 were distracted driving. And also, when you're texting, there is 5 seconds. The average is 5 seconds that your eyes are off the road. And I want us to watch this. We've got something here, and let's just watch this for a moment.
This is typical 5 seconds. This really is 5 seconds, literally. This is our producer, Jen, just showing us.
And she had someone telling her to look up, and so don't worry that she was doing something dangerous. But
yeah,
you know, it's so important.
I mean, just like that.
In a chain, in a second.
You can change someone else's life.
So imagine, and not even looking, or driving with your eyes closed for 5 seconds. I mean, how nuts is that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a really good reminder. When you see something, you know, and you see it literally like that, it's 5 seconds. It's like, oh, that's not long, but it is. It's an eternity. Yeah, 5 seconds when you're driving.
Let's take a step back.
Okay.
And let's look at this from a different way. How shocked would you be to see someone driving a car and drinking a beer?
Oh yeah, you'd get right on the phone and you'd be calling the state troopers, right?
Absolutely. Now, when you're a distracted driver, you have the same reaction time as someone with a 0.08 blood alcohol. Now remember, under Colorado law, 0.08 is that you're legally impaired. You'd get a DUI. If you're convicted, you got jail time, you got fines, you got everything. So it's horrible, and I think that puts it more in perspective as to what's going on. So let's talk more about this. Let's talk more about distracted driving and what is distracted driving. It really falls under 3 categories, and let's look at the 3 categories it falls in. And the first one is visual, which is taking your eyes off the road. Next one is manual, where you take your hands off the wheel. And the third and final is cognitive, where you're taking your mind off of what you're doing. Now, if you're using a cell phone, you're doing all 3. So we as attorneys have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of these car accidents. And there are a few things that you can do to increase your odds not to be in an accident.
Besides becoming like a defensive driver, I mean, you're kind of obviously, you know, being very alert, but other things you can do, right? Other
things, and let's talk about this. And the first one is very obvious. We have a graphic for it. We can talk about it. First one is wearing your seatbelt. So with wearing your seatbelt, that's just a given. Next one is no distracted or impaired driving. This means not only no drugs or alcohol, but also driving when you're alert and not tired. Now, driving's not a part-time job, so give your full attention to it.
Absolutely.
Here's the next one. If you are first in a stoplight, light turns green, I want you to pause for a moment. Look left, look right, because everyone is running the red lights. And if you're a distracted driver, they go right through those things.
Absolutely, that's a good one.
Now, when you're in a parking lot, if you can pull through so that you're pulling nose out, then you don't have to worry about running into someone. So, I mean, those are the main things that we need to talk about. And now for the last thing, you can't avoid who's going to run into you.
Absolutely.
But you can protect yourself. And we talk about it all the time, and you know what it is.
I was like, I'm going to take a guess here. Right. This is the uninsured, underinsured part, right?
Uninsured, underinsured motorist. And we talk Look, we go over that, and I'm sorry that I go over it so much, but it's really super important.
It's a great lesson.
It is. Now, unless you signed a waiver, you have uninsured, underinsured on your car coverage. But you may have multiple levels of UM/UIM. First of all, you need to look at how many cars you have. For example, if you have 2 or 3 cars and they all have UM/UIM on it, you can stack those on top of each other. State minimums are $25,000, but I want you to get more than $25,000, because one night in the ER, you would have blown through that $25,000.
Yeah, it goes right through that so quickly.
Right, and 1 in 6 people driving today has no insurance at all. Also, do you have an umbrella? So if you have rental insurance, house insurance, and your car insurance together, I want you to add an umbrella on top of this. It's only like $300 or $400, but when you do that, make sure this umbrella, go and talk to your agent, make sure that your umbrella extends to the uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. So now you might have $1,025,000
Wow.
for uninsured, underinsured.
Instead of $25,000, you might get $1,025,000.
Right. And you need that. I mean, these days, if distracted drivers, you know,
Yeah,
and we've all done
everyone's doing something. Oh,
Right,
absolutely.
yeah.
I think we've all been guilty for sure.
Yeah.
But these are great reminders, a great lesson. And if you have any questions for Phil, just go to our website, kwgn.com. Click on Colorado's Best. You're going to see Phil's photo there on the right. If you click on his photo, you can send him your questions directly. He takes the time to answer them each personally and confidentially. And to reach Harding & Associates directly in their office, here's the number, 303-762-9500. You can get a free consultation anytime, and you can find him online at hlaw.org. Well, coming up on Colorado's Best, easy, healthy meals.